In the words of the legend himself,
Where'd everybody go?
if you don't check Steam charts very often, why would you? Then you might not know that Hunt Showdown has lost some footing in its player count. At the time of writing this video, the 30-day average is 12,400-ish, which is the lowest it's been since May of 2022. Of course, those are monthly averages, and the player peaks in the top chart are a little different, so we're just going to keep this really general. But both measures agree player numbers are down. And it's interesting to me because on paper, we've received so many community requested features in recent months. We got Thunder Shower, which offers rain in the bayou. We got the ban of Reshade. We got new weapons and ammo types. We got a new boss-like thing in the Wild Target. And yet, the player count is lower than you might expect. And that's why I want to explore in this video some possible reasons why that might be. Let me say up front, I want your feedback, so feel free to comment on the topics of this video down below. I'm not going to be doom and gloom, this isn't the death of Hunt Showdown, but it is an interesting topic. So the first and probably most obvious answer offered for the drop is new games have been releasing. We are in a crowded window with Starfield on September 6th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre on August 18th, Baldur's Gate 3 on August 3rd, Remnant 2 on July 25th, and then Dead by Daylight dropped a new alien-themed update on August 29th. I don't think any of those games are direct competitors, but I'd expect there are similarities in their player bases. The truth is, there is simply so many games to play right now. And with Starfield and Baldur's Gate specifically, they are a huge undertaking and time sink, so it makes sense that players would be sticking to those games for a bit. In theory, players aren't done with Hunt Showdown, they've simply put it on the shelf. So that's one idea, and again, let me know down in the comments if you've been playing new games, maybe taking a break from Hunt Showdown. Another theory is that it's just that part of the year where people have less time to devote to video games. Summer break is over, people are returning to classes or college or work. In other words, people are busy. And I kind of like that idea, but you would expect to see a similar pattern annually. So I went back just to see what was going on before, and yeah, there is kind of a pattern of a drop in September from August, but to really get the analysis correct on that one, you'd probably need to check the update timings and previous Hunt Showdown events. But another topic worth thinking about, in my opinion, especially for Crytek, as I'm sure they want to figure this out too, is just one simple thing: event burnout. Tide of Shadows ran from June 28th to August 23rd, so that was 60 days-ish of logging in as much as your schedule or interest allowed, trying to claim all those event points. We also had a Twitch Drops campaign during that event, and before that we had 2 separate month-long quest lines that were also Gator themed. And even though those stories weren't connected really, they felt like a tease and precursor to Rotjaw, which means it has felt like we've been in this Gator themed chapter since early April. I love Hunt Showdown, but even I don't want to talk about Gators right now. When Tide of Shadows dropped, it felt like everyone was really into it, and you can see that in the peak player count hitting a new record with the drop of the event. But I think that just something about this event in particular, or maybe it's all of these several month-long events, just starts to grind you down. I can't tell if it's how much tease there was in the lead up to adding Rotjaw, or the duration of Tide of Shadows, or maybe even Thunder Shower itself, and we'll come back to that in a second. My point is, there was a lot to keep our interest on all things Hunt Showdown, but I wouldn't be surprised if many players just felt zapped after it was all done. And as I just mentioned, the final possibility I want to discuss is just the prevalence of low visibility maps in standard queue right now. It was nice during the Tide of Shadows event in the early days when Thunder Shower, Serpent Night, and Night were all grouped into one playlist and regular daytime maps were in the other. If you just wanted some sunshine, you could play standard queue. If you wanted rain in the new hotness Rotjaw, you could play the wildcard contract. And I've noticed a slight shift in sentiment toward the Thunder Shower time of day, where it was almost universally loved early on, but now some people are either annoyed by how long heavy rain lasts, or how frequently it happens during a match, or how often it pops up in the map rotation. I still enjoy the Thunder Shower, but it is definitely harder to hear your Discord party while it's active. And another bummer, there's no longer a playlist you can use to escape night maps. Night maps are fun when you can prepare for them, but when I'm all kitted in white sleeves and a marksman scope, or just, trying to play at like 3 p.m., I feel unequipped and unprepared. I still like the low visibility options, I just miss being able to choose when I want them. It seems Crytek is ramping up for the next event, and I'm sure that will bring players back, but I'd be curious if we see events become more spread out, or maybe even created with these things in mind. Anyway, those are my thoughts on it with some amateur analysis or whatever. But I am genuinely curious how you feel though. Are you feeling burnt out? Are you playing other games? Is Hunt Showdown dead to you? Let me know in the comments, and until the next video, goodbye.